shocked. I got, what do you call it? I felt a little nudge, so it touched me, but hands are by my side, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I think it was alright, cool.
Theiry Henry said this match must be replay, and Michael Oliver needs to be investigated. Premier League explanation of Arsenal penalty snub. Ex-PGMOL chief Keith Hackett has spoken out on Arsenal being denied a late penalty in their draw with Nottingham Forest after the Premier League Match Centre confirmed referee Michael Oliver was right not to point to the spot after Ola Aina handled the ball in the penalty area. The Gunners drew a blank for the second Premier League game in a row as Forest held firm to claim what could prove to be a crucial point in their bid to avoid relegation. Gyökeres is a useless flop who needs to be put out of his Arsenal misery. But Mikel Arteta insisted after the game that his side should have been given the chance to score a penalty after Aina prevented the ball from going out for a corner with his arm. He said, "I saw it live, I saw it here, and I saw it now again. It is very unnecessary, but he brings the ball with his hand, so it's a clear penalty." But the Premier League Match Centre claimed the correct decision was reached, writing on X, NFO ARS 80. The referee's call of no penalty to Arsenal was checked and confirmed by VAR, with it deemed that the ball was played off Aina's shoulder first, while his arm was also in a natural position. But former FIFA referee and ex-PGMOL chief Hackett agreed with Arteta, claiming Aina deliberately stopped the ball from going out of play with his arm. He told Football Insider, "The player has deliberately moved his hand towards the ball and committed a handling offense. Therefore, a penalty kick should have been awarded. You should regard the shoulder as part of the body, just like the foot. This is not a deflection off the body, but a deliberate play. A penalty should have been awarded." Arteta bemoaned his side missing 4 massive chances after the game. He said, "Obviously, we came here to win the game, and we haven't managed to do that for different reasons. First of all, credit to them, because they are really well organized and they are really good at breaking momentum when you have certain dominance in the game. But the reality is we created 4 massive chances as well, with Martinelli an open goal, Declan Rice tap-in, Mikel Merino header, and the header of Bukayo. And on top of that, obviously, a very clear penalty in the box that is not being given. So without conceding a single shot on target, again, the fact that we haven't won the game with that is disappointing." Asked if he considers it a point gained after Manchester City's defeat to Manchester United earlier in the day, Arteta added, "We have to do that, try to learn and improve. This league shows how difficult it is. Nobody is winning, because it's so tough. Especially when we have the situation that we have today, we have to put them away. And there are other areas as well that you have to give credit to the opponents." Steven Gerrard issues warning to Mikel Arteta after Arsenal draw with Nottingham Forest. Steven Gerrard has warned Arteta not to focus on the handball decision in Arsenal's 0-0 draw with Nottingham Forest on Saturday. Manchester City's 2-0 defeat to Manchester United at Old Trafford in Saturday's early kickoff handed Arsenal the chance to go 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League. However, Arsenal's side were unable to find a way past Forest, and the draw has put the Gunners 7 points in front of City and Villa, who play Everton on Sunday. Arteta was unhappy after the game as he felt Arsenal should have been awarded a very clear penalty when the ball hit Ola Aina's arm inside Forest's box. "They are right, it hits the shoulder and then he takes the ball with the hand. The explanation is not right, but the rest is okay. The order is okay, but the timing and intention of the player is very clear. If not, I wouldn't be sitting here saying it's a very clear penalty, in my opinion." However, Gerrard believes Arteta should not use the decision as an excuse to explain why Arsenal failed to go 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League. "I think there's a shout there. I don't think it's as clear as Mikel Arteta is saying. I don't think it's blatant and clear, especially in real time from the referee's point of view. I think you've got to be careful that you're not clutching at straws a little bit, because that's not the reason why they haven't got maximum points today. The reason is because they were very wasteful in the first half, and the keeper has made a world-class save. I thought Arsenal's performance was good today. They controlled large parts of the game, created enough chances to win the game. But I think if the focus from an Arsenal point of view is just on that handball decision, I think they're clutching at straws. As I say, they've controlled large parts. It was a decent performance from Arsenal today. It just lacked that killer instinct. I think it's the Martinelli chance, the one that hits him on the heel. That's a side foot pass into the far corner. I think 9 times out of 10, most players at an Arsenal level should be taking that chance. That should have been a goal. Then they maybe would have gone on to more things, because Forest would have had to come out of a low block and be a bit more adventurous. While the game is 0-0, it allows Sean Dyche and his team to stay in and take the space away from Arsenal. Bernardo Silva makes Arsenal admission after Manchester United hammer Manchester City. Bernardo Silva hinted the Premier League title race is slipping out of Manchester City's hands following Saturday's 2-0 defeat at Old Trafford. The City side had the opportunity to half the deficit at the top of the table, with the current league leaders not in action until later on Saturday evening against Nottingham Forest. United, however, delivered their most complete performance of the campaign in what was interim manager Michael Carrick's first game at the helm. The home team were unfortunate not to be leading at the interval, having had 2 goals ruled out by VAR for marginal offside offenses, while Harry Maguire also hit the crossbar from point-blank range. It took until nearly midway through the second half for Carrick's new-look side to break the deadlock and finally find a way past Gianluigi Donnarumma when Brian Miembo provided the perfect finish to a thrilling counterattack. Patrick Dorgu made the points safe with 14 minutes remaining when he benefited from more lax City defending, and it could have been worse had Mason Mount's stop-time effort been allowed to stand. City's players and Pep Guardiola appeared crestfallen at the final whistle, and Bernardo Silva confessed the gap to Arsenal is threatening to become insurmountable. It is a big gap, we won't lie and say it isn't a big gap, it is. We'll fight until the end. It is now 4 games without a league win for City, and Silva added, they had more energy and intention. It always felt like they were close to score, and we were never there. We gave them what they want. They took the game to where they are good, and we are not so good. Since I arrived here in England, we have always been a very controlled team. There was a lot of things missing from us. Definitely a bad day for us. Guardiola, too, was asked if Mikel Arteta's side is in danger of running off into the distance, and said, it is about how we grow up as a team. I have the feeling we have done very good things so far. To be better, you may have to take a step back. The season is a long way, and you have to continue to analyze the game. On another disappointing performance, he added, the better team won. They were better. When a team is better, you have to accept it. They had the energy we didn't have, so congratulations. They had the chances at the end, and of course the goals we conceded were poorly. We didn't control, but in general we can talk about this action or that action. We have the duty to analyze the game in general, and they were better.